Hello, hello. I'm hoping this is working. It's been a long time since I've done a stream, and I'm using Restream.io to hopefully be making this live in two places on Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, let's hope that it all works, and maybe if somebody joins chat, they'll tell me whether or not things are working. So for now, I'm actually in a separate project. This is not the L.A.P.D project because I'm trying to test out the new procedural building tool that was free on the Epic Marketplace. I don't know, some months ago. And so I thought I'd play around with that today. So I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that tool, but we'll figure it out because that's the whole point of this. So I wanted to bring in some art assets from the project, from the previous project that I was working on single player. And yeah, just test it in an environment where it's not going to mess up our actual build of the game. So let's take a look at this procedural building tool. So right now, let's load up the Ghost City, whatever that is. And I'm only going to be... Oh, hello, Pseudo. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm only going to be doing the stream for about an hour. This is just a test run. So I'm just trying to make sure that I got everything set up and functional for streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. And in case you're wondering why I'm looking over here all the time, it's because I've got an Huion tablet in the corner that I decided to throw my chat onto, and I'm now realizing maybe it's not the best place to put it. But hey, it looks like it's working because I saw Pseudo show up in the chat there. So yeah, this is the procedural building tool, and it looks really cool from what I've seen in the YouTube videos. And of course I'm compiling shaders because I didn't plan any of this in advance. So we're almost done. And I'm hoping, Pseudo, let me know. Oh, cool. You're both on YouTube and Twitch, so thank you. Oh, well, I mean, I'll take a free Huion tablet if you want to give me one, but I asked for one for Christmas, so. um, Pseudo, let me know. You can see both my screens because I'm using a macro in OBS. So it should be just following the mouse cursor, and in my initial tests it was working. So right now we should be in the content browser, and then over here we should be in the 3D view. So I think that's working fine. Oh yeah, I can see it in OBS. It's working. So that is good. So yeah, this is an example of the procedural building generator just using some of the assets from Epic. Oh man, it's crazy how much the frame rate drops as soon as you select a building though. Let's see. Turn that on. FPS. Let's see this. Okay, so I'm getting like somewhere between 50 and 90, and then I select, whoops, select the building, and I get 14 frames per second. Wow! All right, well, I mean, it's still faster than doing everything by hand, I'm pretty sure. It's pretty cool because it's got spline functionality for adjusting the shapes of the buildings. Okay, and then as soon as I deselect, yeah, that's not so bad, actually. And that's pretty cool. It's like, it's actually intelligently handling that corner. This looks good. So let's see if I can find this asset. And is it its own, or is it a child of something else? It's probably a child of something else. And let me deselect that so I get my frame rate back. This is the parent class. But this one probably doesn't have any meshes set up, so I probably do want to just edit the one that already exists. So let's just duplicate this one, and we'll call this procedural building generator underscore L.A.P.D test 1. Will this allow me to use a base mesh for the shape? So it's using all modular pieces. Yeah, I really got to get another monitor arm here. This is the worst place for my chat to be. But yeah, it's using all modular pieces. So you're just specifying the modular pieces that you want to use. So maybe if I just throw this into a new blank environment, it'll help a little bit. I don't need all that rain. So you drop in your blueprint, and then somewhere I watched the tutorial video, but I only watched the first couple of minutes of it, so I didn't I didn't see everything. So let's see if we can get it working with our excuse me, our meshes here. So these should all be, yeah, these are the pre-done assets that are horribly made, and somebody didn't know how to do game art because they just combined a bunch of modular pieces into one mesh, and they have like 30 some odd materials. So that's going to be 30 some odd draw calls per building, which is 242,000 vertices. So very not efficient. Oh, only 26. Sorry. I said 30. So anyways, so we're not using those, but I got to make our own version of that. And let's find where, let's just filter to static mesh and maybe type in wall. Let's see if we can get some useful stuff. Okay, so this is a wall mesh here. We want to take a look at where the pivot is, and it's in bottom right corner. So that's good. And as long as these all have their pivot in the same place, yep, they do. They were made correctly. Hurrah! Buying a marketplace asset that actually shares the same pivot points. That's nice. Okay, so we have a wall, so I can grab this wall, and I can theoretically just start replacing the meshes on this blueprint here. So if we look at, I think that says this floor system, general roof system. One of these has got to say wall system, right? Deco. We want to turn on the fast workflow. That's not quite the results I was seeing in the YouTube video, but you can turn on the fast just to build out a single wall, and then later you turn that off and it becomes a full decorated thing. So it just increases your performance while you're swapping up the meshes. So we've got left corner, right corner, wall mesh. So wall mesh here, and it's going to choose them from the array. Now I really got to look through the whole video, because honestly, I don't know how he's specifying, like, for example, you might not want the windows to show up on the first floor. And I don't know how to do that. So let's see what happens when I turn that off. It's weird that it's got these blank ones in here, but it doesn't seem to be using them anywhere. Anyways, so theoretically I can trash those elements and plug in our wall. Whoa. And that's the wrong rotation angle. So how do we change that? Do we just have to redo the pivot maybe? Because probably these guys didn't do it along X. Hello, Unasumi8. Thank you for the follow. Pseudo says, I know with the Houdini tools normally allow you to push the mesh in and it will create the building using the shape of the mesh you provide. This system is not going to be as powerful as Houdini. That I can guarantee 100%. But, I mean, it's somewhat useful. Okay, so it looks like our mesh is along the wrong axes. So if we open this up and we look at X, yeah, X is down that direction. So what I can do is I can duplicate this mesh and call it smwall2 and then underscore PBG for procedural building generator. And then I can probably rotate it under its transform. But that's the import translation. And I'm going to want to... So I'm going to export this. And I'm going to throw it in L.A.P.D. Source meshes from UE4. I'm going to call this post block. I think it was called Alley or something like that. It is now. SMWall2. And we're going to turn off the level of detail, and we're going to turn off the collision because we don't need that. We're going to export that. And then I can set the rotation. I think it would be 90, but let's find out. And then re-import and pick that one. And just go done. Oh, of course it trashed it. Why? Why did you... That's irritating. Okay. It's decided it's in a different material slot now. And it's now a completely different looking building. I will play around with this more later. But for the sake of the stream, did that actually even rotate it at all? I feel like it didn't. Let's see. Save that. And browse and drop it in here. Okay, yeah, it is facing a different way now, but it looks totally different. And I'm gonna guess that was because of the vertex data, but I saved the vertex data, so that's funny. So let's look at the vert colors. So that's completely red. Oh, you know what? When I imported it, it probably trashed the vert colors. That's what it does by default. Yes. Okay. So that's an easy fix. I can go into this mesh and I can go to vertex colors, and instead of ignore, I can do replace and then save and then re-import. There we go. And now we have it back to looking like the same wall mesh. So that's cool. We can do some vertex painting to like adjust the wear and tear on the piece. So that's good. So now we should theoretically just be able to where is my PBG? That one. And I can delete that and that and that, and then select over here and back under the walls, wherever the hell those are again. They were somewhere around here. There we go. Swap out the wall. Okay. Making some progress. Now I think this one is expecting the pivot to be on the other side. So this one might need to be, instead of 90 minus 90, save, re-import. There we go. Hurrah! We have some walls with very obviously tiling textures, but that's okay because we're going to put in multiple wall meshes. And then, so it looks like we got a corner mesh. Sorry, I'm ignoring chat. I have a tendency to do that. Nope, I'm not really ignoring chat because nobody's chatted since the last one that Sudo wrote. Okay, let's just keep cranking away at getting a procedural building going. So, so this one is a particular, I'm going to find, I'm going to drag that back in and browse to asset. So, oh, it is in walls and slabs. Whoops. Haha. So there should be a corner mesh, and if there isn't, I guess I'll have to make one, because they have windows. See this one. Yeah, that one's cool. So if we do the same sort of thing here with that one, I can export it. Save it there. Okay. And then, of course, I probably need to put collision back on this thing. So, box simplified collision, save. Oh, and it looks like he set it up to use per poly collision by default. So we don't need that. Not for a simple block. And then, oh, this says corner. Let's see. Corner. Hey, look at that. That is a corner mesh. Okay, so then let's just plug that in at a corner and see how it needs to be adjusted. So this is, yeah, some really boring level design, but hey, that's part of the process. But once, the cool thing is once you get this going, hey, Maddie. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I know. It's sexy, sexy walls. This is like some of the most boring aspects of level design you can imagine. But the cool thing I was just about to say is once you get this set up, then it's really fast to iterate, using the same assets to make a variety of different buildings. So that'll be cool. But yeah, this is probably the most boring process that I could have chosen to stream, but hey, whatever. Streaming everything. Okay, so that's a wall mesh, and then it says there's a left roof corner, roof wall mesh, floor pillar, floor door, roof door, right corner wall mesh, and left corner wall mesh. So one of these is going to correspond. So let me take that guy here and I'll drop it in the world. And then I will go back to where that mesh was in the abandoned city. Oh, why did I think it was alleyway? Abandoned city. I knew it had an A in it. And these are walls and slabs. That's where I was. And this corner is, of course, the opposite. So, and this is another corner. Oh, that's a rounded corner. Oh, that's cool. So this guy, from dropping it down, would be needing to be rotated probably minus 90. Nope. 180? Yeah, 180 to be the same as that one. So my guess is I think I already exported that, so I need to duplicate this. Call it 2_PBG. So I know it's the same mesh, but I've just rotated it. And of course, collision. And hello, Fearsome Line NQ. Thank you for the follow. I am full of passion for the wall. Yes, yes, I am. Totally. Sorry for bothering me. You're not bothering me at all. Are you kidding me? You're part of the chat. That's awesome. Fearsome Line NQ says, "Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chatbots, etc. The price is lower than any other competitor. The quality is guaranteed." Well, thank you, Fearsome, but sorry. Yeah, not putting any money into that. But hey, whatever. Okay, we again do not need complex collision on a corner mesh. And considering we're not going into the interior of any of these buildings, we can just go with a box simplified. For now, I might adjust it later with a custom collision, but oh, interesting. Wait, what? Oh, he's already got simplified collision on it. That's why. Sure. Or maybe let's just do this because I know the convex collision is really freaking good when you just crank up the verts and the hull precision. It's funny how fast a scam bot will join your stream. It's not like I stream on the regular or anything. It's hilarious. I love how at least they program the scam bot to be polite, right? Sorry for bothering you. All right, browse, and then this one, turn off collision, and go back to the rotation, and I think 180 was the number, so we'll re-import. Oh wait, I didn't do that one, I did a different wall mesh. So, that was the window, I think. Yeah, that was the window. So we'll export this one. Nope, that's not the one we want to export. We want to export the original. Export corner to export. Then we want to go back to this one and I think I'm going to have to redo my collision again. But anyways, re-import corner to. Yeah, okay. So usually when I hit done, it fucks it up. But I'm going to hit done anyways. And it didn't fuck it up this time. So figure that one out. But of course it fucked up my vert colors again. Oh, defaults. Defaults. Replace. Don't ignore. Why would they set it to ignore for the default action? Epic. It's all your fault. Anyways, easy fix. So let's see that and browse to that and go back to our procedural tool and scroll all the way back down until I see the rainbow colors. Where were the rainbow colors? Here we go. And then right corner wall mesh. So I'm going to trash all those. And then I'm going to plug that one in. And then we'll see how it gets fucked up. And so now the pivot's just in the wrong spot. So I need to adjust the pivot. So if I throw that in, and we need to pivot over there. So I think I turned on the modeling tools. Yep, I did. We go into modeling and one of these should allow me to modify the pivot. Edit pivot. There we go. Edit pivot, and it's got snapping on. Oh, am I just, yeah. Oh, why is that not snapping? That's irritating. Unless it is really loosely snapping, but I don't think it is. That feels like it's not a snapping pivot, which we need. Why would editing the pivot ignore your snapping settings? Epic. My God, they're trying to make my life really difficult. That's all they do. Build an amazing engine, make it free. So irritating. Okay, so I was going to cancel that, but I hit the wrong button. Good job. Okay, so At least that put it roughly in the right spot so we can see that it's working. So I'm gonna load up 3D Studio Max, and while that's loading, I'm gonna go back into select mode, and I'm gonna browse to the asset here. And I already exported it, actually. So, yeah, bad guy Epic. Damn those Epic walls. I totally agree. Okay, so now I have to use 3D Studio Max to edit the pivots on my own. Gotta be pivot snapping, though. I feel like that should be a thing, because I know there's pivot snapping, like when you reset the pivot here. You can go pivot, set pivot here, offset snapped, right? And then that actually snaps. So there's got to be a way when you're in, while I wait for Max to load, I might as well see if I can figure this out. Clearly I have to watch tutorials though, because I've never really used the in-engine modeling tools. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I thought the pivot was up in the air. I'm like, that's weird. Okay, so pivot snapping. Is there somewhere? Okay, so positions. Enable snap dragging. Come on! Epic! Leave these things on as default. Why are you trying to mess with us? Default settings need to be better. Okay, so we should be able to go bottom, and that's putting it in the bottom center, and then we should be able to choose like left. Where's that going? Wait, what? That's the left side, but we can't go left and bottom? Oh, you sons of jerks. I thought it would first snap to bottom alignment and then snap to left alignment, not just go to one of the sides. So that these snaps are not as useful as I want them to be. But maybe, nope, still not snapping. Even though this is snap dragging is turned on. What does this say? When enabled, click drag to reposition the pivot. What do you mean click drag? The hell else am I doing? That's the only way I can position the pivot. Ah, confusing, confusing. Forget that. Go into the program that I know how to use. All right, Max, file, import, quick access, L.A.P.D, source, meshes. Yeah, in case anybody ever wondered, yeah, clearly I need to learn how to use the modeling tools as well, Pseudo. But in case anybody ever wondered why game design takes freaking forever, it's all this kind of stuff. The stuff that's behind the scenes and you usually don't see. Fidgety, irritating, the level design, etc. Once you got everything put together, not so hard, not so time consuming. Okay, man, I need some water. Got a frog in my throat today. I called it Post-Apoc Alley, and it is the corner piece. And so I just need it to be over there. So I will turn on my snapping vertex, and I will affect pivot and budding, budding, budong. That should fix it. And then file, what did I call it? SM wall corner 2. So I will save as L.A.P.D. and, well, I keep wanting to call it Alley. It's not Alley. What are you? You were Abandoned City. Okay. So, let's do this properly. Meshes, and then from UE4. That's just my own naming convention for when I export a mesh that I'm modifying from the marketplace. And then Abandoned City. And technically I should be putting these in a subfolder that matches up with walls and slabs. So usually I skip that step. Save. Export. Source meshes from UE4. Okay, I really gotta rename this, but I don't know if that's gonna work right now. It does. Okay, cool. And then probably I actually want to create a folder called original. Drag that in there and then redo this. So that way I've got a backup of the original mesh. I don't have to bother re-importing. Okay, so that's done. Now I should just re-import this and source meshes from UE4, city, that guy there. And now we should have our corner in the correct spot, except it actually needs to go in. So it needs to be actually on the corner, not on the edge. So then this needs to go to that corner. No, no, that's what happens when you align to a vertex. I want to align to grid. Turn that back on. Okay, get it. No, get out of vertex mode. I thought I turned you off. Go away. No vertex. You go over here now. And you go over here now. There we go. Okay. File. Export. Yes. Okay. And then save. And re-import. Why did you not fix? Save. Browse. I should have shoved it over. Huh. I'm very confused. Why? Because I didn't realign this to the world. Bang. Save. Export. You have... I should have called this Epic Wall Builds, Maddie. I have a node for this in Houdini. Node for what, Pseudo? I know, Houdini is the king. Someday I will get a copy of Houdini and then celebrate. Okay, so that's working, except this one is in by the width of the wall. So then I need to... Oh my god, the tedium! The tedium! There is a pivot point tool that I saw demoed with this asset pack, and it was like $10 or something like that on the marketplace, and I was like, I don't need it because I can do it in Max, but if I have to do this for 1,000 meshes, I might actually buy that tool. Because you can do like multiple meshes at once, which would be very handy. But anyways. Re-import. There we go. Now it's all technically lined up, except these marketplace assets are not actually lining up. Of course not. Why would they? Okay. Yeah, right. He didn't even snap it to... So this, kids, is why you don't buy assets on the marketplace, because you end up spending more time fixing them than you actually do using them. This guy obviously didn't align to the correct units. You could tell because here's one of my major grid lines, and this is off by several. Irritating. So then I am going to add in an FFD box, and I am going to edit the control points, and I'm going to set that to 280 seems wrong, but let's see what I get when I go over there. Yeah, it is 300. Okay, 300 and 300. That should roughly fix it. A little bit of stretching, but who cares? Export. This is slightly more entertaining than paint drying, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that could be cool, pseudo Blender tool. Although I don't really know Blender, but you know, uh, I'll figure it out. Okay, so re-import again. There we go. Hola. It fits. Now, of course, the texture doesn't look anything the same. Why would it? Um, oh God, this is funny. I mean, this is only one of the asset packs that I purchased, so maybe this one's gonna require more fixing than the other ones. Um, so this wall is using MI wall 2, and this wall is using MI wall corner 2. They look the same here. They don't look the same in the editor window, which is a little weird. That one's like so much more detailed in the brick than this one is, and yet they kind of look like they would be seamless here. Weird. Okay, Bing 20. And then let's jump it up to 100 here. And then you 20. Aha. Okay. So yeah, that's weird that they are offset like that. Even though they're using the same snapping. They're offset by 10, and that's because I moved it, but I moved it because it wasn't on the right pivot. So let's go, whoops, did that without snapping. Let's go back there, put those in by 20. I'm gonna spend this entire stream and get like 2 meshes in place. Blender has a plugin for UE. I mean, I'm sure it does. But whether or not I can use it, that's another thing entirely. Okay, and now it's off by the little bits that I stretched it, right? Ah, so irritating. So irritating. I should have just made these meshes myself. And then why is it offset that way? I guess it's based on this one's pivot point, but that one's pivot point is on the edge as well. This one's on the edge, so I really don't know why it is offsetting it in the procedural tool. Because they do have the same pivot alignment. Right? That's at 100 and 300. and 20. And this one, 400, 320. Let's go back to 0 and 20. And 0 and 20. And they should line up with each other, which they do. And if I rotate it 90 degrees, it still lines up. So why is that off here? Screw you, tool. Why are you pushing everything off by 20 units or whatever? He's off-grid. Who's off-grid? In the procedural tool, you mean, or? That's really irritating. This is why I'm testing outside of the project. So I want to make sure it all works before I bother bringing it in. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, because the pivots are aligned perfectly. So I don't know why it's off. But when I looked at his tutorial, the pivots were all matching in the tutorial video that he did. And he didn't have this issue. So I don't know why it's happening now. Unless there's an offset. Maybe specified in here somewhere. Maybe there's a way that you can like nudge it. And maybe it's nudged because I'm using his blueprint instead of the default blueprint, which is clean. So there might be somewhere that's specifying an offset. These are at floor ground, global Z offset, floor and roof ceiling offset. Light maps, floor material, roof material, a randomize, deco aligned spline, roof prop system, shrink extent. Yeah, this is probably why I should have actually watched the full tutorial before I played with this tool, but I kind of thought it seemed self-explanatory. So I didn't think I had to. Yeah, maybe I should rather than looking through everything manually. So floor system, global floor, wall location, forward offset, they're all set to 0. Actually, in max here, then I need to go back to where I added the modifier for, oh, screw you, what? Why is my undo history so small? It's supposed to be 200. I think I forgot to increase it. Nope. 200 undo levels. So why do I only have like 30 or less? Bugger. Oh well, I saved the original for a reason. So close that. File, import. Import the original here. So that's the original. It's lined up there. I wanted it to line up there. Ding, let's try that. Yeah, I think I just messed it up. But I still got a gap, which is weird because it looks like it's aligning fine on. Yeah, it's not using any offsets on the walls, so it's just at minus 500, which is fine. And this is in the same place, and yet it is off here and not off in the procedural. Well, whatever, just make it work for the procedural, I guess. So go back here and throw on my FFD box and go to the 300 and 300. Export. Save. Okay. Re-import. Yeah, you think you know what's going on? Save me, sudo, save me. Save, collision, remove, collision, 10.z simplified. Be good enough. We don't need the corners yet. I'm still trying to figure out why the frickin' material looks so different here. Because, again, on the meshes here, they look fine. I mean, you could tell there's a seam, but it looks way better than this. Why is this so freaking blurry? Blah. Blah. I'm starting to see the appeal, pseudo, of creating everything that you want to use on your own from scratch. Because you're spending less time going, what the hell? Why am I getting the results that I'm getting? Anyways, let's just move forward. I only got 10 minutes left for this stream. Rotate that wall on the bottom. I think the pivot point on the other wall is for it like 180. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then this one, I don't know why it's using the same when it has two corner meshes. Why is it using... Let's go back down. Where are the rainbow colors? There they are. Whoops. I went too far. Come back, rainbow. Come back. There we are. So left corner wall mesh is using a totally different one. This one should be right corner wall mesh. So if we duplicate this... And there's still a gap. WTF, mate? Why is there still a gap? Oh my, oh my. Duplicate. Oops, I didn't want to do that. SM wall corner to B G BG. Let's just take this and flip it like that. Save, re-import. And then the collision is going to be in the wrong spot. No, it rotated too. Cool. Okay, and this should be the left one, except that that's being doubled up. I mean, am I crazy for thinking that this is the left corner and this is the right corner? Well, I mean, for me, if it saves you time in the long run, I think the plugin's worth it, and this one looks like it will. But kind of have to have correctly made assets to begin with. And I did find out that this abandoned city pack, while although it does look great, it wasn't made well. So that's probably the problem. I got to go through and like realign all the meshes to the grid and reset the pivot points and yada yada to get them working. And it might not be worth the effort. So let's just see if I can get a window in here. So like a double window like this one. If I add this to the wall mesh array, it should randomly add in the windows, which it is, but again, those are incorrectly rotated. So I want to duplicate this, and then I want to just go 8 underscore PBG. Actually, instead of wall 8, I'm going to call this wall windows double, because it helps to give a descriptive name. And then we're going to open that up and rotate it 90, save and re-import. Go back to there and go done. Go back up here and grab that and plug it in there and delete that and go okay. And oh my god, these default settings for the verts is going to drive me nuts until I remember to change it. And remove collision, add a box, and go back to call and turn this to project default. And then yeah. Bidding. Wow, I am wildly confused. So it does have a system set up to know that it doesn't want to use the second wall on the first floor. So I guess the first one becomes your first floor, and then this one becomes subsequent floors. But yeah, okay, that would be cool if you can bulk edit them. They just all have to have the same pivot point, right? So that they all line up correctly. And I'm very confused why it's using this, the right corner again on the left corner in this tool. So we'd have to find that out, figure that out. And then, yeah, clearly these meshes are not all the same width. So if we look at this one, it's a 300 by 300. And we look at this one, it's 300 by 300. So you would think, oh, that's the wall corner too. And this one is 300 by 300. Yeah, you'd think they'd all line up, but 300 by 300 is weird. And Unreal usually want 500 or 100 or something like that. But anyways, it should theoretically be working, but then they're creating giant gaps in here. And I think it's just based on the pivot points, so I got to sort those out. And I think I've spent the entirety of this hour that I had free for streaming messing with meshes. So anyways, guys, it's been fun. Totally not fun, but you know, I'm just going to be doing this daily as I have time. At some point, I'll probably switch to streaming at night, but currently I am staying with a friend, and he goes to bed at 9 p.m. because he's an old man. Not really, but, you know, figuratively speaking. So right now, I'm limited to streaming while he is at work at his day job. So I'm going to be doing them in the mid-afternoon, and then at some point, I am gonna have my own place, and that's when I'll start streaming, probably in the evenings or all day. Who knows? But anyways, I just wanted to get back into actually streaming what I'm working on so that you guys can see some progress. So thanks so much for joining me on this first stream. Thanks to all those who followed, and I will probably see you sometime tomorrow. All right, so I'm gonna end the stream now because I have an appointment that I gotta get to. But yeah, again, thank you all for joining, and I will see you next time. Now let me figure out how to turn off my stream.